There are many different ways to use text, especially multi-line text. The method you use will depend on your needs. Styles will control your font type. Let them. M-text objects can be edited within the text editor, but once you do, you lose some editing abilities. Let's open up and insert some text, and I'll show you how. If you start the M-text command, pick a box anywhere, it doesn't really matter. Then right-click inside the box. Now you want the Import Text option. Browse to the folder where we're working. And insert the note-pipe.txt file. With this import option, you can import a TXT file, something that someone has already typed up and saved as a TXT file. It's raw data, it's just the text, it's not formatted. AutoCAD can insert that and put it right into your text object. Once done, just click right outside there. This is a note. It's a bit of a humorous piping note that you may want to take a look at. Some of it's quite funny. But let's copy this text object. That way we'll have the original still intact and we can mess with this one and I can show you some things you can do with it. So for example here, if I change the font type inside the editor for this part of the note, or if I change the color, I can do that. But now I have problems with the text style. If I use the match properties, I can't change the style. But watch as I take an unaltered text object, and if I change its style, now we see here this style is set to annotative. This style is set to standard. This one is still set to standard. So if I start the match properties command, say I want everything to look like this one, I pick these two. Well, this is now set to standard. This one is set to standard. And this one is set to standard. But that part that's red in a different font, I can't put it back to normal. If I double click the text and I want to override these settings, I can't. I have to come down here to this remove formatting, say remove all, and then I can come and make my changes. So you have to be careful with it. It makes things difficult, but you can do it. You'll have to go to a few extremes or a few extra steps to fix it. So just be careful with that. M-text can also have a background mask applied to it. We looked over that briefly, and we found out a way on how to mask it. I want to demonstrate that to you again. The quickest and easiest way to do that is to just keep your Properties palette open. Select the text and go to Background Mask. Now, you can also activate the editor in here and go to the Background Mask and get your settings this way. We'll use the background color for an example here. If you use the drawing background color, you don't get to change the color. So I can click on it and it won't do anything. It'll just stay where it was before, but it won't be red. Okay, as you can kind of see here, the background is grayed out. You can't see anything. So if I move this text over the top of this text, and if I make sure it is on top with my draw order, this text is blocked out. So you can kind of see that line right there. The text is there, it hasn't been changed, hasn't been deleted. And if I pick it, it pops up. But when I go to print, this is what it will look like. So that's a great method to use to keep your text visible, especially in a very busy drawing. So if you double click in here, and you can see a spelling error is made. If you right click, you have different options or suggestions available. Maybe you meant popular. If not, just undo. You can find some more suggestions here. Or if it is a word and it is spelled correctly, you can click Add to Dictionary right here, or you can just ignore it altogether. This is a great way to make sure that you're spelling things correctly. You can also use the spell command. It's found right here in the ribbon, or you can just type in the word spell. This will work a couple of different ways. You can look in the entire drawing, the current space, or you can select objects. If you just want to select objects, you can pick this box right here. You can pick 1 or 2 or as many different text objects as you would like, and it works for dimensions, multi-letters, single line text, and multi-line text. Once you've selected everything, click Start. It'll do a scan, it'll find the word, it'll zoom right to it, and give you some suggestions. And if the suggestions are wrong, you can just type it in right here, whatever it needs to be. And at every instance that this misspelling is found in your selection set, it will change all of them at once, or just one at a time, or you can ignore them all. So those are some advanced editing techniques and tools that you can use when working with multi-line text.